you just been dying to say. We do, girl, I believe.
My name is Lindsay Lunke. In 2016, I decided to publicly identify myself as a victim of Larry Nassar. Hello you guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Lindsay, and if you are not new here, thank you so much for coming back. For today's video, I'm going to be doing another Survivor Series episode. I honestly don't even know what number we're on, 5 I think, and today's video is going to be about being in a serious relationship as an abuse victim. But before I even get into any of that, I just want to extend a huge thank you to you guys for your patience with me last week. Obviously, I did not upload a video, and I just received so many nice messages from people just saying that they were thinking of me and my family, praying with me, sending their own prayers, things like that. My family is going through it right now, and it's just been a really hard time this past week. A lot of no sleeping and stress, and eating has been hard, and it's just been a tough week for my family and I. So I just wanted to send out a big thank you to you guys for your patience and just being there for me and sending messages. Obviously, it's a situation I haven't talked about yet, so people don't really know what's going on, but I still just have received so many messages saying that you guys are thinking of us, and it means the world to me. So thank you. With today's video, like I said, this is going to be episode 5. I have switched things up a little bit just because I found that with the videos that were going to be coming, I would have been repeating myself from things I've already said in some of my videos. So I took some out and kind of just switched up what I'm doing. I am going to try to finish the Survivor Series this month because December is coming in. In December, I want to do Vlogmas. So I just want to get the Survivor Series done, get all the questions answered, cover all the topics, and then if there are things that come up after that, I am willing to do more videos on it. But as far as the actual Survivor Series goes, I want to get it done at the end of November. So, like I said, today's video is going to be about being in a relationship as a victim of abuse. So, as many of you know, I have been in a relationship for a very long time. DJ and I have been dating for 4.5 years now. Prior to that, we were best friends in high school. So for a couple years, we would talk pretty much every single day. Obviously, we couldn't hang out as much because I was always at the gym and DJ played basketball. So just both being athletes, we were very busy, so we didn't hang out much, but we did talk pretty much every single day. We vented to each other, we trusted each other, we shared our good news, our bad news. We just helped each other out on the hard days. So we really were best friends who were there for each other. And ever since then, I've pretty much known that he's the person I want to marry. I'm just lucky in the sense that I have somebody who I can trust and somebody who I've trusted for a long time, because obviously trust is a huge foundation in a relationship. So talking about being a victim of abuse and then having to meet somebody new, trust is very hard. So I'm thankful in the fact that I have been dating DJ for 4.5 years now, and trust is something that's never really been questioned in our relationship. He has never really blamed me for what's happened. Nothing has ever been my fault in his eyes. He's only been the most supportive person I could have ever asked for in a partner to go through this with, and obviously it has helped the fact that we were best friends before we even started dating. So me and DJ have had a very strong relationship for about 7 years now, 6 or 7 years now. So that has been something that I've been very lucky with. And I know that my situation can be a little bit different than other people's who are trying to get back into dating maybe after they were in an abusive relationship. So I hope that some of the advice that I have for you guys helps. But if there are more specific questions, please let me know. Being in a serious relationship, there are definitely good days and there are bad days, just as there are with myself. There's days where I don't want to talk to DJ. There are days where I stay in bed and he goes to work, and I'm sure that's frustrating for him because who doesn't love a day in bed? It has just required a lot more patience from both of us, I think, that we never really had before. I really didn't have any patience. Patience is something that I really struggle with, and I'm trying hard to fix, but it's not a strong suit for me. DJ definitely has more patience than I do, but both of us together, we just don't have a lot of patience. And so that has been something that we have both really had to learn and something that we've had to practice, really. His life has changed drastically, I would say, since this has started. I just think it's in the way that he looks at me, and not in a bad way or anything, but just his point of view on our relationship. I've talked about this in the previous video, in the trigger videos, but just knowing now that I was being sexually assaulted while I was dating him is something I'm sure that's very, very hard for him to take in. The fact that he has to go everywhere with me because I don't like going places alone. Being alerted by other people around me, so when we're in a grocery store or we're at the mall or doing something together where we're out and we notice somebody who just looks a little sus, not that they are or anything, but just to us, they look a little suspect. And he's more alerted by that now, which I don't really think previously he ever would have been. I mean, we wouldn't really have had a reason to be. And just, again, having a complete lack of trust in people. He doesn't have a lot of trust in people, the people that he doesn't know. And since this has started, we haven't really made a lot of, like, new friends as a couple, you could say, just because, like I said, it's really, really hard to make new friends after you've been through something like this because you don't trust people and you don't know if they're going to have your back or if they're going to take what they know about you and use it against you and hurt you with it. So he just has a complete lack of trust of people, just like I do. And something that we've already talked about as a couple is the topic of only having female doctors for our kids. Obviously, abuse can come from both male and females, but again, I was abused by a male. So that's just something that we've already talked about is like, how do we go see another male doctor and trust that they're not going to be the same as Larry? He's already being affected by that. We haven't even thought about having kids. Like, we know that we want to have kids for sure, but we just are not ready yet. And we're already thinking about things like that. And he also is just a big protector. So always not like being controlling of knowing where I am, but just like we share our locations just in case like something were to ever happen. I'm a freak. I'm not a freak about it, but I just am triggered by the fact that being kidnapped or being abducted from somewhere, and you know what I'm trying to say. So just being a protector for me and always looking out for me, more so than like what a normal boyfriend would do, because we've been through scary situations with it. He is a lot more sensitive with me than I notice other boyfriends being. Not, again, in a controlling way at all. He is just very much, when I'm having bad days or things are hard, he's very accommodating to what I need. And I would say more so than other people in other relationships, because again, he's gained a different kind of trust than what other people have and what I notice. It also is just important to take your time when you're getting into a relationship after being a victim of abuse, because the hardest part, again, is going to be trust. Especially because when you're getting into a relationship with somebody, you're probably going to be experiencing some of the same emotions that you were with a previous person you were with that may have been abusing you. And this more so goes towards domestic violence. And what I'm trying to say by that is you're letting somebody else into your life, again, who you're going to eventually have to learn to trust. If this is somebody you're going to be serious about, they're obviously eventually you're going to get to the point where you love each other. You're going to be saying I love you to each other, which may have been something said to you before. They're going to be touching you in certain ways that somebody else may have touched you before. And I don't mean like in a gross way. I just mean like holding hands, kissing, hugging, cuddling on the couch. Those things are just going to be similar. So those are things that you just have to be ready for again. In my opinion, it has to be to a point where it's not going to trigger you anymore. So somebody hugging you or kissing you is not going to trigger you like maybe it has before, coming out of a previous relationship that was abusive. So I just think that taking your time getting into a relationship is huge. And just also from the standpoint that like when you're coming out of an abusive relationship, you have to learn to love yourself again, because chances are you were kicked on the ground hundreds of times, mentally, emotionally, maybe physically, and your self-esteem goes to crap. Like, you have no self-esteem, you have no confidence, you are not even comfortable in your own body. And so you have to be to the point in your healing path where you love yourself again. Because if you can't love yourself, you can't give love to another person. Not real love anyway. You have to be able to love yourself enough to give yourself to another person so that they also can love you. That takes time, and that's okay. There's no timeline for anything in life. And as much as you think that there is because of what we see in the media, There is no timeline. You have to do everything at your own pace. If you don't get married till you're 40, but you're happy with that marriage at 40, good for you, because that is way more worth it than being married at 18 and being with somebody who you just rushed into things with because you felt like you had to. Just my opinion. So take your time, go at your own pace when you're ready, when you're comfortable with getting into another relationship. I also think that it's something that needs to be talked about when you're getting into another relationship. Your story of abuse is something that has to be communicated, because chances are the way that you are, your character, your personality is a huge image of what you went through before. So some of the things that you may do, so for example, if I wasn't dating DJ anymore for some reason, we broke up and I started dating somebody else, I then would have to expect him to go to the store with me. And he would probably be like, why can't you go anywhere yourself? Oh yeah, because this happened to me and this is why I'm like this. So it doesn't have to be the very first thing that gets brought up. Like you meet someone at a coffee shop and you're like, hey, I was involved in abuse before. No, on any level, it doesn't ever have to be that. But I do think that it is a conversation that needs to happen, because you are the way you are because of what you went through in your experiences. Like I said, there are going to be certain things that you do that are probably a little bit different than what that person may be used to if they haven't dealt with somebody who's been in an abusive relationship of any kind. I do think too, when you're getting into a relationship with somebody, this has to be somebody that is willing to sacrifice. And I mean sacrifice on another level. Not like, oh, I'm giving up a night with the guys because you want to go on a date. I'm talking like the ultimate sacrifice. So when I go to bed, I usually go to bed pretty early because I'm just a sleepy girl. And DJ can stay up pretty late. Nights that I can't fall asleep, I text him when I'm laying in bed and I'm like, hey, I can't fall asleep. He quits whatever he's doing and he comes to bed with me to help me fall asleep. He gave up a lot of his free time that he gets, like after I go to bed, doing whatever he wants, video games, movies, Netflix, going and hanging out with friends somewhere after I go to bed, whatever. He gave up a lot of that because of what I was going through. And asking someone to give up their alone time, their personal time, especially DJ, because DJ likes alone time. He likes being independent and doing what he wants, which I can respect that, because if I want him to love me and be in a relationship with me and I want him to be happy in our relationship, I just have to understand that he likes alone time. Kind of like I talked about before, DJ has learned a whole new level of patience. And there are so many days where in our relationship he's giving 80 and I'm giving 20. I don't ever agree or believe that a relationship is 50-50 every single day. That's baloney. There's no way every single day you're telling me that you and your partner are both giving the same amount of effort, because no relationship is like that. There are things that we go through every single day that require one person to give more than the other. And in these past 2 years, DJ has been the 80 and I've been the 20 more times than I can count. And I don't do it on purpose. I don't do it because I'm lazy or because I take advantage of him. I do it because the things that I've been through cause me to feel numb. Like there's no feeling to me, and I can't love him every single day, even though I do and I am so in love with him, but I just can't, because I wake up and I'm tired, and I wake up and there's dishes to be done, and I need to clean the cat litter, and I have to fold laundry, and I need to vacuum, and there's just days where I physically cannot do it, and he picks it up. And he may have done the dishes 3 nights in a row, and I should probably be doing them next, but I just can't. Of course, he gets aggravated and he gets irritated. I would too. It's just, that's part of a relationship. He is so good about it, and he never makes me feel like I'm not worthy or like I am less, because there are days where I can't do the basics. And to me, that has been the biggest part of mine and DJ's relationship being successful, going through everything that we have, is because he has been so kind and so caring and so selfless for anything that I've needed, anything between us that's happened. And I'll have one day where I'm the most loving girlfriend in the world and I help him do everything, and maybe that's a day where I'm giving 80 and he's giving 20, but there are days where he literally gives the full 100. He is such a champ about it, and I truly couldn't ask for more. Obviously, not every day is perfect. I don't want you guys to think that, we never fight or we never get in arguments, because we do. It just is bound to happen when what we're going through requires so much patience, and people run out of patience. We both have run out of patience, and it's just about being able to work through it together, looking at it as teamwork. It's complete teamwork, especially now that we live together. It is all about teamwork. Be in a relationship with someone who you can be a teammate with. And that is exactly what DJ is for me and through all of this. And I can't thank him enough for everything he's done, and just loving me literally at my worst, loving me at my worst, and still accepting me for who I am and what I'm going through, and that it would honestly probably be so much easier for him to walk out and find somebody else who has never been through anything like this, who he could have much more alone time. He could be able to do whatever he wants more often. He wouldn't have to sacrifice as much. He would find somebody who could give more to him, more days 80-20 than what he's giving me or what I'm giving to him, but he doesn't, and he just takes me for who I am every single day, and I am so thankful for that. It's just all about finding somebody and waiting for that person. Waiting for that person who comes along on your path at the time that they are supposed to and when you're ready, and letting them into that part of your life that has made you who you are, and having them accept you for that. Like I said, it doesn't have to be on a timeline. You don't have to be married at 22, having your first kid at 24, buying your dream house at 25. That's not realistic, I don't think, for a lot of people. Actually, I know that's not realistic for a lot of people. No matter how many plans you have set, God has his own plan for you, and don't get caught up in the timelines. And I know that's like hard for me to say because I have found someone that I know I want to marry. We talk about marriage all the time, our dreams, our plans together, but like I said, I was best friends with DJ for 2 to 3 years before we even started dating. So our foundation has just been so strong for so long, and going through this with him has made it a lot easier because it's somebody who I know is somebody I can trust, and I've never once questioned my trust in him ever in our 7 years of knowing each other. So I just, again, am so thankful for him, and without him, this process would be so hard, but I hope he knows how much I appreciate everything he does for me, how loved he is. And even on the days where I don't want to get out of bed, I don't want to talk to him, I don't want to see him, I don't want to touch him, he lets me be until I come back around. And I don't know what I did to deserve somebody like him to go through something like this with, but I am very lucky. So I know that that person is out there for you, because I get so many questions every single day saying I can't date because I'm so traumatized by what happened, and it just breaks my heart because DJ is my favorite thing in the world, my favorite person, he's my everything, and I want other people to be able to find that after they are in an abusive relationship, because that's what makes it better. That's what makes you happy again. It's what makes you feel like you're worth something, and I don't mean in a sense that you can only be happy when you're with somebody, but it makes you have hope again, because there are people out there that are good. There are people out there that love you and support you no matter what you're going through, and it just takes time to find that person. So don't give up, be strong, and just be patient. When something good comes, make sure that you are able to give to them what you are giving yourself, if that makes any sense. You have to love yourself before you can love another person. So just be mindful of that, and when that person comes, I hope that they are able to help you, and I hope that they are able to love you and make you realize that not every single person is bad and is not trying to hurt you. So I know that was like a really long explanation, but it's just really hard to put into words some of the things that I receive messages on, because it's a lot of emotion and feeling, and sometimes it's hard to translate your emotions and your feelings to words. But I hope that that made sense and I didn't sound crazy. I do have 3 questions I'm going to be answering. I'm going to try and do it pretty quick. So the first question is, do you struggle being with your boyfriend after being abused or even talking about it? So I don't really struggle being with him in a sense of being in a relationship with him, but there are the harder days where I really need to focus on myself, and I can't give him the effort that he's giving me. So again, the 80-20 thing, and he's very patient with me in that aspect, like I've said, but it is very hard on those days where I feel like I can't give to him what he gives to me. And also, just in general, talking about it can be hard. So I originally asked him, I said, I'm doing a video on being in a relationship. Do you want to be in the video? Do you want to give your input? Sit there with me, talk about it, things like that. He decided no. I can respect that. I honestly am kind of happy he didn't want to, because I feel like I'm able to more describe how I'm feeling. Not that we don't ever talk about it, because we do. We have a very open relationship, communication. I'm comfortable talking about these things with him, but I kind of just wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about the feelings. So, but there are days where it's very hard to talk to DJ about things, and that is something that's really hard because communication is really important in a relationship. So the days where I can't communicate with him are really hard, because he deserves that when he doesn't know what's wrong. The next question is, are there any aspects about having a boyfriend that are hard or triggering? For me, no. I would assume this question is meaning more so on like a physical level, So it's not hard for me being with DJ for our physical part of our relationship because I trusted him a lot. I've never questioned my trust in him, so I don't really ever worry about that. But I know that for people, that is something that is very, very common. But for me, I don't ever relate my abuse and what I went through to DJ on any level ever. But I do know that is something that is very, very hard for many people. The next question is, what role has your boyfriend played in helping you heal? The better question is like, what role hasn't DJ played? He's literally been a champ. Most importantly, just being a friend and being someone who I trust and someone who I can talk to no matter what the circumstances. Somebody who can understand why I go from being in a really good mood to a really bad mood in a snap of my fingers, and somebody who accepts me for who I am, because I have come out of this an entirely new person than the person he originally started dating. I mean, a whole new person. And the fact that he still loves me through all of these changes that have been going on and everything that I've brought into our relationship. Like I said, it'd probably be much easier for him to leave and find somebody who has not been through as much as I have and is not being affected by something like this every single day, but he doesn't. And that just speaks volumes. So he just makes me really happy on the hard days. He picks up my lack of effort around the house when I'm too lazy to clean and pick up and do anything really. He's always there to just pick up that extra side of me when I can't. He understands my different needs, all of my triggers, everything like that. And he does not complain an ounce when I ask him to sacrifice certain things for me, which is huge because it makes me feel like I'm loved beyond measure, and it is just something that is so precious to me that I found somebody like that. So he truly has taken on every single role that I could ever ask for. I know it is extremely hard with social media and seeing all of these couples, especially now. I have pretty much every single day that I get on social media, if not every few days, somebody's getting engaged, somebody's pregnant, somebody's gotten married. It's just the age that I'm at. I'm 22, I'll be 23 next month, so it comes with age. But trust in the path that you are on and the person that you are. Know that there is somebody out there who will take care of you and will be there for you, so don't lose hope. I know that was a crazy video that was pretty much everywhere. I don't think any of that made sense, but hopefully it did for you guys. My next video that I will be doing is the top things that I've learned being a victim of abuse, and I have 10 things listed. I think that video is going to be really, really good in not making people, again, feel alone, because sometimes coming out of abuse makes you feel certain ways and it makes you look at things completely differently. So I think that will be a very good video for a lot of people to relate to, or at least I hope. Yeah, guys, with that being said, that is going to complete this video. Please subscribe down below if you haven't already so you can see the next videos coming. Follow me on my social media, which is linked down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.